Hi, my name is Sarri Gilman, and I am a psychotherapist, and I have been in practice for more than 30 years. One of the subject areas that I teach on is on boundaries. I've written a book, Transform Your Boundaries, and in this particular online class, I'm going to be sharing how boundaries and trauma fit together for recovery and healing. I've been a lifelong student of trauma, and I've taken many classes on trauma, and I think the way our information about trauma and boundaries come together will be really helpful for you in your own recovery. Some of the things I'm going to cover in this class is how to deal with the intense emotions that come up when a trauma wound reopens. I'm also going to cover three essential boundaries skills that everybody needs to be practicing while they're doing some trauma recovery. And I'm going to explain how boundaries and trauma are related to each other in your healing experience. So this class is really designed for those of you that are working through some of your own trauma healing or who have been through a lot of healing. It's also going to be very helpful to those of you who work with others who have been exposed to trauma. So if you yourself are a therapist, or if you work in schools, or if you work in nonprofit settings and you are really working with a population of teens or kids or adults who've been through a lot of trauma, you're going to find this class really helpful. So here's a moment from the class. Your boundaries have one job, and that's to take care of you. Trauma disrupts your self-care abilities. That's exactly the impact of trauma. It gets really hard to care for you. So that means making a connection between your boundaries, your yes and your no, and your self-care and your trauma recovery is so important, because these two have to work together in recovery. And so in order to really do trauma recovery, at some point you have to do boundary recovery. If you have any questions after you've taken the class or you want to reach out to me, feel free to do that. Okay, take good care.